Hello everyone and welcome. Hey Date6, how are you doing? How's every how's everything going? As you probably all can hear, not that well for me. This is the pew pew and pleasing the algorithm stream, I'd say. Because I haven't streamed since Friday. I wanted on Sunday, but then my voice was completely gone. So that was fun. And the last few days have just been a mixture of my throat wants to kill me, or my nose wants to kill me, or collaboration of both of them. I tell you, the collaboration days, they were the worst. And now, well, no Baldur's Gate because girlfriend is also ill. Kind of as expected. So this is just, me trying to recover and still pleasing the algorithm. So if there's stuff like, not me understanding well or anything, just tell. It's gonna be a bit of a rougher stream, is what I'm saying. Hey Rogers, how are you doing? How are you doing? So I guess I have some stuff. I know what. Tier 1 named the Scorpion, I guess, this stream. Well, it's not the worst thing. Let's see if we can get Flashpoint. That's a new one in the rotation, the new map. It's also pretty nice. Well, I'm getting better, but I'm still running off of, tea, now an energy drink, and nasal spray, and other drugs. Like... let's say even... So yeah. Those have been my days. Tea, mild stuff, and mostly sleeping. Mostly sleeping. But then again, when I look around on social media, apparently a bunch of people are now ill, so, yeah, something is up this spring. And frankly, I didn't catch the worst, so that's that. Kind of happy about that, not catching the worst, I'd say. There's, I think, I read someone got someone got pneumonia, and it's like, that has to suck. But yeah. I think I just do that in TDM, that would be more. Do everything you can to uproot them. We are counting on you. Oh, hey, Rogers, honestly, here's the thing. I wanted to stream on Sunday, but, I tell you, I started out the day, no problems, and then my voice deteriorated so fucking fast. And the following days were just like my throat was literally swollen, and I couldn't really speak, and it sucked. And then my nose thought, you know what? How about I change to binary? You can breathe, you cannot breathe. And that were the other days, on top of the throat. So right now, I am actually feeling better. The fact that I can stream here, and that Twitch isn't gonna be like, you haven't streamed in this long time. Yeah, that's the upside. That's me being better. But no. Illness is not nice, I tell you. I mean, we're back with this game next week anyway. Seems to run better now. Damn. Cleaning up OBS did help, it seems. Yeah, probably should have done that earlier. I mean, next week is stadium map, so I'm actually pretty interested. I really wonder how well Stadium plays and how much is in there now. Like, they seem to have added a ton of stuff. And frankly, I'm just really, really interested. Also, I think I kind of like the narrative thing they're doing. This narrative, you know, loop. Like, you know, basically, you know, all of the game's marketing started with the stadium. If you remember the first reveal trailer, they had like the stadium, you know, they landed on the stadium and such. And like, you know, canonically the first fight is, you know, Doha. God, I still remember. You know, you know, when this came out, before I had the better CPU and such, and now GPU, I still find it funny, basically, that every time I had a CPU upgrade, or well, every single CPU upgrade of the past decade has been because of Battlefield for me. Literally everyone. And yeah, that's why I say the next title should just not have, should just not try and be like, you know, the biggest graphics chaser. It looks fine now. It should run. You know, it should run on as many systems as possible. It's just like, yeah, I know, you know. This looks fine. Just if they can optimize the CPU requirements and make the map smaller again, you know, more to the size of Battlefield 3 and such. In general, I think more unique maps should also be the case. But yeah, I think it's kind of narratively nice. I mean, yeah, maybe they could have made an 8th season or something, but like, I don't think it's the worst. You know, they supported this game a long time. I should probably start actually spending up the cash I, you know, acquired over the battle passes. Could definitely get, but also the biggest problem for me is, you know, like, you know, the current ones look fine, you know, in the event. It's like, yeah, cool. And honestly, I'm more interested in the TPC, TPC GDL and whatever. Is it going to be MNO? Mandate, the MON, Mandate of Nations, the MON? Fuck. I'm gonna be very interested in how they look. Yeah, it's kind of cool to see, you know, them just doing this, like, oh hey, the last map is gonna be Stadium, you know, the place where, you know, in the first MP reveal trailer, you know, there was Touchdown. It's like, yeah, that's where it started, and that's where it all goes back to. And it's like, yeah, you know, that's just neat. Or not everyone who understands where this comes from, but still. Go. Ah, damn it. Yeah, also forgive me if I sound kind of weird. This is again the survival on nasal spray and shit stream. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. I think there is, as I've said probably on Twitter a bunch of times. Gesundheit. Yeah, there you hear very ill girlfriend in the background. That's just that. You know, the elements of a good title, they're all there. They just need to iterate on them and not just throw them out. Or, you know, cling to ideas that I feel are just off. Like, for example, the whole, oh, Battlefield needs to be big. Like, why? Like, the most... Like, here's the thing. The titles, aside from the people that joined in the last 6 years with one, that are, you know, held up by nearly everyone in the community as being the best, are Bad Company and Battlefield 3. And Battlefield 3 was back in the day mostly played on PlayStation, which was 32 players. So like, I'm gonna ask the question, why the fuck does Battlefield need to be 64 players? Like, this isn't to say, you know, oh hey, you can't have 64 players, or that 64 players is, you know, not fun and such. It's just, why is this idea of, oh, it just needs to be bigger and bigger and bigger? Like, this mentality led us to 128 players. And some of the most interesting and best maps in the game, in the whole series, to this day, came from, you know, smaller focused ones that were, you know, for 32 players. Like, that's true. But that is also, you know, a bit weird to say, because beta is just very, you know, undefined to a degree. And I'm just saying, yes, like, it is honestly criminal that Rush, you know, you had Bad Company 1, good maps, Rush was introduced, but, you know, had fine-tuning. Bad Company 2, which was just really good, nailed a lot of stuff. And the Battlefield 3, you know, was like, hey, let's just make a lot of Rush maps that integrate way more interesting aspects from, you know, older titles, you know, like, you know, you had beach landings like Karkand and stuff. Then just flesh them out a bit and have some 64-player conquest built around. But, you know, I think what a lot of people miss is that the core of Battlefield 3's maps are designed around Rush. Like, sure, on some it's very obvious, like, you know, Operation Metro. Operation Metro isn't the best, like, the best version of Operation Metro that you can play isn't Conquest. That was, you know, just the grinder that everyone went onto for, you know, easy XP and equipment farming. 32-player Rush Metro is insanely good. 32 players Rush Diamond Peak, I'd say, is even better, because, like, you just have a map where just one sector is just literally above the other. You jump down. That's just unique. That's cool. There's just so much juice in Rush, and then this is why I hate people saying, you know, Battlefield 4 was just an expansion to 3, because, you know, they reworked how guns worked completely. It was a mess at launch. It was just then, you know, moved backwards, and I was there when they did that. And every map was, you know, meant to be 64-player conquest. And they all missed something. Like, not that every map was bad. Again, I think Siege of Shanghai is actually pretty solid. I don't dislike Siege. I think, you know, it's just also the best example of why the whole Levolution thing was always a dumb idea, because you kind of have the best map in the game, and then the tower falls over and it becomes kind of meh. Just, fuck. But yeah, and it was just dead, and then... You know what, as much as I like Hardline also just didn't have Rush, which is... Okay, why the fuck didn't have... Okay, yeah, you know what, fuck it. I shouldn't talk that much, I shouldn't talk that loudly. But still, this red has to go out. Visceral games, for everything that I like about Hardline. Why the actual fuck didn't you have Rush in your game? Why the actual fuck didn't you patch it in? It didn't need to be on all maps. You know what? You know, you didn't have it on... you didn't have it on, you didn't have every mode on every map, I think, as far as I remember, but, you know, what the fuck? I had Hotwire. Hotwire was fun, you know, until the game launched and everyone scripted it so it wasn't fun anymore. And that some stuff was just a bit imbalanced. Like, what the fuck was that with just insta-kill rocket launchers? That was just stupid. But still, why the fuck wasn't Rush in the game? If you want to separate yourself from Battlefield, why the fuck do you cut out Rush and not Conquest? Like, oh no, we have a lot of linear maps that scream to be played in Rush, but you know what? You know which game doesn't have Rush? Fucking Hardline. Why? Why doesn't have Black Friday have fucking Rush? Why doesn't have nearly all of the DLC maps? There were good ones that just screamed to have Rush, but no, you didn't have them. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. The Final Sentinels, oh yeah, Final Stand was good. I'd say Final Stand was more like, there were, I think... I'm gonna say something unpopular here, but like... Hangar wasn't that good. It was a cool set piece, but it wasn't that good of a map. It flowed kind of weirdly. But yeah, they generally had more good maps in there. Again, I was on the CTE when they playtested them. Or you know, hey, CTE stories, like when they did the community map project. You know, the temple. In the original, you had to actually swim from the sides, and it was a pit with ladders on the sides. And I made like a gigantic post on Reddit because they had like their own Reddit for that. You know, I made a whole Reddit about, you know, hey, you need to lower the water and make more, you know, alcoves. So, and you know, add stairs because ladders are not good. Like, and I know there's a lot of tech nowadays that tries to make ladders good, but like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Ladders is like the elevators of old school, you know, old school arena shooters, if you know what I mean. They're just not good. They basically take the floor. Like, you can say, oh hey, it's a you know, you need to keep in mind, you know, oh hey, it's maybe a way where you can, you know, get to higher ground, but you need to, you know, the trade-off is that you're, you know, easy to shoot with something. Like, yeah, I get that, but again, if you want verticality and use ladders as crutches, it's not a good thing. You use stairs, and you know, what do you know? Next update, there was more cover in the pit. You know, in the rows leading towards the pit. The water level was low, so you could run in, and there were stairs. So yeah, that I don't know if that was just me, but hey, I take that coincidence. Still, they had some good stuff there, but like, yeah. And then Rush just had, I mean, Rush just was so put to the sidelines because, yeah. I'm gonna be back in a second. I just have to go. Like, don't turn off. I'm literally back in a second. And then I'm back. God damn it. Sorry for the interruption. Looks like on top. Oh, fuck. So, I guess on top of my, throat saying, fuck you, and on top of my nose saying, fuck you, My digestive system also said, you know what? Fuck you specifically. Fuck you. You thought you could just sit there and stream? Oh, no, 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 no. I am giving you the worst treatment the algorithm wants, needing to go away from the screen. Like, oh, fuck you. I'm having the head freak of a bad day. So yeah, where was I? It just, I don't think it's sane to say, the series needs to be big. Like, here's the thing. It's not that I think, Breakthrough is bad. And in general, I think, Battlefield 1 had, probably had the best maps in the series for the past, since Battlefield 3 and kind of Hardline. But, Hardline was like up and down. I think the Hardline DLC maps were generally better, but that's a different thing. Also, the later DLC ones in Unreal, they also were hit and miss, but still. So I think they were good, because they focused on they focused on this linear breakthrough design. Obviously, I'd say you can't have all of the designs, and there are designs, and there are designs that overall can, be good besides the, big one. But in general, I'd say this was the reason why they had so many good maps. Which, obviously they abandoned the instant the next game came around. Now, obviously, I'd say, you can rightfully say, but Arrest was a really good map. And I'd say, yeah. Arrest was so good that I'm still wondering why the fuck, if they wanted to port, if they could have even ported maps from 5 into, let's say, Portal, why the fuck wasn't Arrest ported? Or Twisted Steel? Twisted Steel was a good map. I know people say no, but it was a good map. I will die on that hill. Twisted Steel was a good map. But still, then you, on the other hand, had stuff like Fiel. What the fuck happened there? I think they hired someone who worked on Counter-Strike maps before to do that, which is like, how the fuck did that happen? I don't get it. Still, yeah, I just wish they stick to something, like. Yeah, Hardline was a good game overall. I think, I'd say the launch was kind of weak. But, I think a bunch of the base game maps were also not, like as we Germans say, the yellow from the egg. They were just not, like. Like, sure, let me just put it like this. You know what? Downtown, yeah, probably kind of a better take on the idea of Siege. I'm not going to deny that. But also, Siege was also not like the best map. It was just the best of 4. Kinda. So, hot takes, I know. I just wish they stick with something, is what I'm saying. Iteration is what this series needs, not, oh, hey, like, yeah, see, as I pointed out, the maps in 3 were so good, usually because they, were built around Rush. And the weakest maps in 3 were then usually built not around Rush. See, Armored Kill. Now, here's the thing. Armored Kill were to, a big degree, still solid maps, I would say. But honestly, who the fuck... Like, is anyone here looking, can look me in the eyes and say, oh, you remember on the standstill what Death Valley was like? And don't look it up. Like, what was the major feature of Death Valley? Again, these maps would have, so you had, the big tank battles, but... And Death Valley was, in my opinion, one of the better ones. But, the strength is... Stick to a theme, stick to a mode, and build around that. How far am I here, actually? Huh, not bad. Could be better. I don't know. We will see what is the next title. What's gonna be, the main focus. I think this general idea of, oh, we need to be, we need to be big and cover everything is like the biggest problem of the series. Like okay, here's the thing, okay? One of the reasons why I keep saying this, the series. So here's a hot take I have. I do think the series would benefit drastically, and I mean immensely, by having like, a 5v5/8v8 spin-off, or, free-to-play mode with attack and defense. And you could totally slap Rush onto that, as, the bigger offering in that mode. But it should revolve around that. For a bunch of reasons. Let me talk about the obvious ones first. So, the bigger ones is that there's a big just niche in the market that's unfulfilled. Like, let me put it like this. People like attack and defense games, multiplayer games that are focused. But they do like them to be a bit more casual, Right now, this market is not fulfilled at all in one specific sense, that is, having the more, open build variety from classes that we know from this game with, attack defense. Like, you have on the one hand your Milsim games at Battlefield, which is more casual, but still. And then on the other hand, you have Overwatch, And like, I'm gonna say it. There's a bunch of people, like, who probably play Overwatch or they won, and kind of wish to have something in between, you know, more like enemy territory, you know, classes, modifiable guns, etc., 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 and not just, oh, you're hard locked into one character with with 3 abilities and a weird way to attack. That's not everyone's favorite, and a bunch of people probably don't even know that. The only game that kind of covers that right now is War Mode in Modern Warfare 3. That has its own share of just problems. So again, the market is open. And also, if we're talking about, you know, stuff like Battle Royale or extraction shooters, etc., the Battle Royale train is gone. They could have jumped on it with Firestorm. Simply because, well, yeah, back in the day you had PUBG, you had Fortnite, and this middle ground again. That could have been Firestorm if it was free to play. Oh boy, it would have been. Probably people would have loved it because it was fun. I think one of the funniest bits I remember from that game mode was how you know, I played with 3 friends, and we opened a bunker and found a Panzer IV in there, and Panzer IV, and then we were like, oh fuck yeah, we have a tank, a good one, we're invincible. So we fill this thing up, drive outside of, I think the bunker was like in a crater. We drive this thing up, like out, we drive down the road and we're like, yeah. Then we die instantly. Well, there was another team that found, so they found a Sturmtiger. Anyway, we died in 1 hit. That was good. And that's just, you know, that's funny. That's just, you know, that was just a lot of fun stuff. I got a win in there actually once. So yeah. But yeah, that again, the Battle Royale thing, that's gone. Like, no matter how hard Warzone is fumbling, they need to shit the bed. And I doubt they will do that soonish. But, you know, for there to be an opening in the market. And even then, you know why it won't happen? You know why it won't happen? Sunken cost fallacy. People will, like, especially nowadays with modern games. This is why I say a lot of people being like, you know, oh, they make games, you know, intentionally bigger so we can't install more games. Like, that's stupid. You know how they keep you playing? You know how they keep you in one game? There are a lot more mechanical levers that you can pull. And one of them is, you know, the sunken cost fallacy. Because right now, if you look at people playing Warzone, these people probably have played, you know, before. And they played during, you know, when Warzone 2 dropped. And they spent money back then. And they're spending money now. And next year, there's gonna be an update. Apparently, it's going back to Verdansk, so people are nostalgic for a map that was like 3 years ago, I guess. But also they will take everything they have with them. You know what that means, right? That you can have people keep all their shit that they bought, that they spent money on. That's why you probably will not get anyone from Fortnite. Like, even if you make, you know, the perfect Fortnite competition, it just does everything better than Fortnite. That's hard. That's insanely hard, by the way. Most people won't go because all their skins are in Fortnite. They would need to rebuild all of that. So they won't. You don't get people to switch on gameplay alone. There are too many psychological factors. You don't do that. So you're going for, oh, we just try Battle Royale again because that's what the others do. It's stupid. It's stupid. But an enemy territory-like game, 6v6, or, 8v8, 2 squads, 5v5, scale up to rush, that's open. I have checked recently, and I don't think there is a game that does, a simple Overwatch-style game mode with, payload and all of that, and not too dumb setups. With a robust class system, right now it's for free. The last one that was nearly that was Dirty Bomb, and that's that. On that note, oh hey, you need devs to develop maps for that game? Just hire fucking splash damage. Just saying. But still. That's number one. That would be a niche where this series could fall into. And also, it would be way easier to build around. You can have literally the same factions and classes and, even update them for, if there's eventually a new game release across both games, and don't need to make weird, unique character models or something. You can still keep it themed, have, different factions with different skins and for that factions, by just having a game based around factions. Simple as that. But anyway, that was number one, open market. Number two, it would literally benefit the main game in terms of balancing. Why? Here's the thing. Battlefield being big, having big 64 player maps, that's still pretty big. We don't need to go up to 128. It's just, kind of a balancing nightmare. You cannot stress test really how shit works on a big map. I mean, yeah, sometimes stuff will be off, but that's that. In an environment where you have focused maps, 5v5 up to, was it 12v12? I think it was 12v12. Rush. From 5v5 to rush. You can stress test nearly everything to its absolute limit. Like, oh, you need to look how things perform, in terms of vehicles. No problem. Here's an environment where you can do that, where they will be constantly under stress. You have classes. Obviously, that the more you infantry focus shit, the more you can test that. Like, especially now, if you look at the current setup, that they have 3 slots, or it's probably gonna be 3 slots. I'd be like, I would not believe my eyes if they will ditch that. Here's the thing. Let me go over this a bit, just very quick. What I mean with 3 slots. Well, look at this. There we go. You will have, the def whip. Every support has that. They usually have something. I would say support should only have heal stuff. And you usually should have something that's just their thing. Something utility-like. How do you balance that? How the fuck do you balance that properly? The thing is, the more you have an infantry-focused mode that is hyper-focused on either from infantry or small mixed combined arms, rush, the better you can actually test all of that. You can literally, throw something like a flamethrower gadget in there, and look. If this doesn't overpower everything in 5v5, it's probably gonna be fine in 64 players. You can have, multi-grenade launcher. If it's gonna be fine there, it's probably gonna be fine in 64. That's the thing. You can scale upwards. Obviously, there will be stuff that's probably, you have to adjust. But most of the time, if you have a sub mode, okay, that's infantry focused, and just 5v5 up until 12v12, you will end up with a game that has really tightly and well designed infantry gameplay. And the main game will benefit from that. Because yeah, you have your free-to-play mode, you get new people in, they can carry over everything directly into the main mode without many adjustments. And still, the main game mode can benefit from the more focused infantry gameplay. It's a win-win. And also, third thing, a lot of map design can be, carried over. Like, here's the thing. If you have a game, again, if you have a focused infantry game mode, you can have so many good assets in there that are just gonna be prime infantry gameplay. And you can take those and just put them into the main mode. Like, that works. That's a good setup. We can reuse that. So yeah, that's my case. To make a 5v5/12v12 rush, payload, whatever mode. Free to play attached. Because it would literally benefit all parts of the game. I don't think so. Like, here's the thing. I think this is a bad reaction from a lot of people. Like, the problem is just, people forget that DLC maps are usually just dead after 1 week. Until they bring out the complete edition, and usually you will have a few servers playing them again. A few, most not. Like, gameplay-wise, I'd say DLC killed more titles than you wanted to. Like, and this isn't even, specific to Battlefield, this is just a thing, Let me put it like this.
The enemy is retreating. We've won.
Oh fuck, we won that still. Huh. Let me put it like this. If you have a game that's insanely good out of the box, DLC will be kinda irrelevant because a lot of people will usually just play the base game or, buy the DLC. Like, look at this. Battlefield 3 came out and a lot of people liked it because Battlefield 3 was insanely good back in the day, okay? Bad Company 2 had free DLC, by the way, so, which actually brought a bunch of people in because, I still know people who didn't play Bad Company 2 because they were like, yeah, no, I like the maps and one more, and then, Harvest Day and stuff came and they switched over. I should have done that from the beginning because, it was just a better game, but still. The thing is, if you look at 3, and, people buying the DLC, yeah, you have, populated DLC, and that's cool. That's legitimately cool. Like, I like the fact that Aftermath and such was populated, but also, let me just be clear here. I played on the most populated platform back in the day. I know a lot of people bought the DLC. Armored Kill was still dead. And when it came out. How was it again? That was the Visceral developer. Like the last DLC, also mostly that. Like 3 were played basically. Strike at Karkand, which everyone had. Well, nearly everyone had, is what I'm saying, because it was, you know, pre-order bonus. Oh no, you got it in the first week for free or so something. Like, nearly everyone had it. Basically, the domination grinding maps from Close Quarters and Aftermath. 2 DLCs were not played in the end a lot, and are not killed at least. Then I look at Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4, the DLC saved nothing. Were there good maps in it? And some. Again, some. But that didn't bring back people, did it? You know what brought back people? The free stuff. The fact they fixed a bunch of shit. The fact, you know, netcode was really good in the end. I mean, just to be clear, outstanding netcode. And, you know, community map project, Dragon Valley. That's also those are also the maps that are still being played, by the way. Those are the most played DLC maps, the free ones, those that everyone had. Meanwhile, Hardline. I can say with confidence that Hardline DLCs had some of the best maps in the whole franchise. Period. Alcatraz was really good. And in the same cemetery, really good. Thin Ice, also, I guess the Grand Bazaar remake, also really good. And similar. In the earlier ones, you had Museum, you had Black Friday. They had really good maps in there. And it didn't bring back people. They brought out, you know, night maps, and that brought back some people. But it didn't bring back people. Then you look at one of the best sold games in the whole franchise. DLC were dead. Also, I mean, I would say, because, you know, not many people played the multiplayer, which is because I'd say the multiplayer in 1 was very basic, so there was not much to do there. And not everyone was willing to spend on the basic multiplayer more money. So, you know. But then you look at the maps that, you know, the games that had free DLC. Five is still played. And 5 had arguably some of the worst launch in the whole fucking franchise. But look, let me look. Steam charts. 22,000 people, 24-hour peak. 22,000 people. For a game with that launch. That is what I mean with free stuff gets people back playing. And just to be clear, the weakest platform for Battlefield is the PC. I don't think we should actually, you know, debate that. Like, it shouldn't be a debate point. I think most players are on PlayStation. Like, I think there were, like, you know, when there was, you know, the PS Plus in March. I think some scraped the API data. And I think it had like a 500% player increase. 500%! Think about that. And I bet with you, the reason why why we got to, I think you're from the US, right? I think that's a bit more common, but let me put it like this: Battlefield. I mean, Battlefield is pretty popular in Europe, mainly. Also, yeah, most people don't have an Xbox here. Like, this is a wasteland for Xbox. I'm sorry. And don't ask me why the PlayStation has such a dominance on this market. I don't get it. Like here's the thing. I like analyzing games, and I like analyzing a lot of stuff about them. But there's stuff I cannot explain to you. I just can't. Like, you're asking me, why the fuck is the PlayStation so big in Europe? Don't fucking ask me. It was Sega before that. Like, literally, PlayStation killed off Sega. It just fucking did. But still, that was a gigantic player increase. And I tell you, we got to season 7. Okay, 3 more seasons. And the highest player record of 2142 during season 6, because there was free stuff. Because people, stayed. Because people then invested into the game. Like, yeah. Free stuff saves a game. Oh, there we go. Mastery. Like, I know people are like, oh, live servers robbed us of so much content. I'm like, no. Like, you know what? I wish I could join with that, but it didn't. Here's the thing. If you really think that I need to be very specific here. If you think that paying for shit guarantees you content, you haven't read the terms of service. You literally haven't. And it's not that happened before. Like, here's the thing. Did they promise 4 maps for 4 DLCs for Battlefield 1? Yes, they did. And then they delivered 3 in the last DLC. Of course, you can say, but the previous ones had more. Yes. But that's also changing the terms of service. And they changed it, because the studio was like, hey, we should probably give some more stuff into it, and the game was overperforming. But that's the problem, right? That's the problem that we're talking about. Battlefield 1 was overperforming. It literally was. This is why we got more content per DLC there. You would need to cut out 2 maps from the French expansion, and at least 2 more, like 4 maps should have been cut out because they were a bonus, basically. That only happened because the base game sold well. Similarly, we probably would have gotten 2 maps per season, if this game didn't underperform at launch. But we only got to 7 seasons, because then the free content kept people there. That's the thing. Live service isn't as easy as that. When people say, oh, they have to guarantee us because I gave them money. No. Read the terms of service. They literally say, we can change it at any point in time. And you couldn't even hold them legally liable or something. They just can't say that. Just, no, fuck you. So that's that. I don't think it's smart to say that. The thing that, is the problem here, let's just be really here. It was the botched launches. Like,
That's what we want. We blind for this. Move and defend the objective in the net.
it was the botched launch, not, some weird live service model. They obviously planned more. And yeah, they pulled people. Because we know that. That's what happens. The game underperforms, they pull. It's stupid. I'd say they should have gotten through with the original plan. But that was also probably not the smartest move, because again, the maps were horrible, and the whole plan was to revise them, which was, smart actually.
Enemy cannot reach our endpoints. Top priority is preventing
Anyway.
sabotage.
Oh wow, wait. What the fuck is it spraying? I haven't seen... I'm sorry, I haven't seen shit being sprayed in the background on this map. What the fuck? That's unique. Is that new? Is that new, or was it always there? But yeah, I don't think DLC should come back. The thing is that they just need to nail is the launch, Like, yeah, the launch is the key. And I think that should be self-explanatory, actually. Like, so basically, look at it like that. If the game launches, okay, and it just has, it has a good launch, period. It runs, well, on nearly every platform. It has good to solid maps. I don't think they need to be perfect.
Hostile charges disabled.
The class system is intelligently designed, and you can build upon it. Basically, if you make a base game that is good and has everything that you need and is working, then I'd say the whole DLC meta will not be a problem. Yeah, that's true. I think that's the main thing, because that's what you need to keep in mind. I think what a lot of people forget is that with the new DLC and especially now with the free thing, is that basically stuff aren't expansions anymore, really. Okay, like. If you, for example, look at an old expansion from, RTS times or something, the old RTS game and such, an expansion usually changed a bunch of stuff very drastically about the game. You had, new units, sometimes new mechanics. Hell, look at Battlefield. Basically, Battlefield 2 Special Forces took the gameplay from Battlefield 2 and made it its own small-scale spin-off with, more stuff like zip lines and shit. This was definitely trying to be something different. What we have nowadays are basically extensions, and frankly, that's all right with me. The problem is just, for an extension to be good, you need to have, as you say, the solid basis. Like, you can always tweak stuff, that's not the problem, But you shouldn't need to tweak stuff. Again, as long as you have, for example, maps that work and people want to play, fine. Then people can wait for new maps.
Destroyed by the enemy.
If you have, if you have a good lineup of weapons and stuff to especially play around with them, and classes, etc., people can wait a while. And then you can also add more stuff on top of that. God, I just suck right now. But the most important part that will help, and this is, this is the stuff that was a problem with Battlefield 1, that was the problem with Battlefield 5, and now with 2042, is simply, if you have not a clear focus on what to do with your game, and you shift shit all the time, and you have to rework stuff, you will not find, you will not find a way forward. Then you will have to cut stuff. And that's the thing. I met with you, they had a plan for their live service game. And they had to change that because the launch was atrocious. Because that's what happened with 5. That's what happened with, them looking at, and 5 had other problems, like, oh hey, Criterion is doing a Battle Royale game. And meanwhile, Dice LA was doing something else, and it's like that. It was just an unfocused mess, is what I'm saying. As long as you know what to extend, it will work. Like, yeah. Oh hey, have a clear idea for maps, then, maybe be like, oh hey, can we maybe add a new faction? What can we add with vehicles? And so on and so forth. The thing about live service is that it's just, way more about planning ahead and keeping to that timetable than, well, everything else. And ironically, if you look at competitors, they actually understood that. Like, here's the thing. Look at Call of Duty right now. MW3 had, a solid launch, but people were pissed. And Season 1 and 2 didn't go well, apparently. Like, players left. And I think a dev said that this is the reason why Activision said, fill Season 3 up with content. And they did. And guess what? People started coming back. Funny how that works, right? Just like, yeah. Like, here are a bunch of new weapons for free. Here are like 4 maps, and then you get like, I think 2 or 3 more in mid-season. So like, here. Shit ton of stuff to do. Sure. Now people say, look what they get, what we don't get. And to that I say 2 things. First of all, Call of Duty is an insane machine that crunches up people, and all this content hasn't been done without crunch, and they have, an easier time developing stuff for the game. Just say, they don't have to deal with destructible environment and such, and also the maps are smaller, etc., etc. But still, also they have a shit ton of studios behind. They're also more focused, because again, all of this, none of their studios are doing, one weird, unique thing. They're all like, oh hey, you're working on one thing, and if we want, we can, change you over to doing more stuff. But the crucial point is, someone at Activision knows how people work. So we're looking, and we're like, hey, our game is currently underperforming. So you know what? Let's just fill up the next season. It doesn't care if the content is, just, the B range, the best of the best maps. Are they solid? Throw them in. You have weapons, throw them in. You have other stuff, throw them in. The more we can fill shit up, the better. And you see that. You see people being like, oh, look at how much they get. You see how then people are coming back and playing, being like, oh, this is so much fun, so much content. This is the difference. This is why I would say if EA had actually thrown more money at this game, if they had been like from the beginning, let's throw Criterion into there and just make more maps, more guns, etc., more people would have come and stayed. Because the free model works. You do need to know when to drop shit though, and how much you're willing to commit. And EA so far has not been that willing to commit. Also, hey Claire, I'm feeling better than the last days, but as you can see, there's a reason why we're playing Battlefield today and not, well, Baldur's Gate.
The enemy has armed their explosives.
Then again, you can call it probably Baldur's Field, considering how much we murdered people already in there. It's a war zone. I'm drugging myself up and just keeping my nose free because, as I said before, my nose decided to be binary. It's either just working or just, no, you're not breathing now. Whoop. Oh, come the fuck on, really? Here's the thing. I might be recovered for Friday. I don't think she will.
Efforts were not enough today.
This really started on Sunday, and as you can hear, blow your nose. I did blow it. It's free, Rogers. I actually put nasal spray in so it, stops being swollen. Okay, you know what? Since I usually give out some tips for, being, living on your own, if you go to the pharmacy, and I don't know how it is in your country, but here's the thing. Don't buy the standard nasal spray. Buy the one for children. The thing is, whatever, depending on what you use, I think in the USA you still use epinephrine and stuff. So, basically nasal spray can make you addicted. Okay? But here's the thing. The one I use here, and it's like, it's not off-brand, but, it's the one where the license was gone, so they can now do it themselves. The patent was gone. Oh, yeah. So basically, it uses xylometazoline hydrochloride. That's good. That's it's working. But the thing is, why do you want children's nasal spray? Here's the thing. Again, this shit can get you addicted. But, and this is what farmers, especially pharmaceutical companies don't tell you. Is that the fact is you don't even need that much of whatever you use for your whatever is in your nasal spray to free your nose. The children one is completely fine. It is less than the adult one, so you can use that. Your nose gets free, and less risk of getting addicted. Or other bullshit. So yeah. We have that in the UK. Children nasal spray? You should. Just look at that. Let me just make some.
Beacon's hot. I'm ready.
Had an Olbus inhaler. What? What? That definitely sounds kind of wild. But then again, I guess welcome to Brexit? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's, you know, banned in the EU, so like kind of happy about that. Like obviously, you know, there's a lot of stuff where it's like where you could say, "Oh, it's not that bad," which is true. Which is true. But still, I mean, the EU isn't perfect, is what I'm saying. But you know, better than having Fruit Loops with stuff in them that you know, that create defects in children, which is like, what the fuck, USA? Why the fuck do you allow that still? I'm not kidding, by the way. That's actually true. If you ever, you know, look at Fruit Loops in the USA versus Fruit Loops in every other country, you realize the Fruit Loops in the USA are like way more vibrant in color than literally every other country in the world, because the coloring in the USA is literally forbidden in, I think, all but 5 countries, because it creates growth defects in children. Yeah. There's a reason we banned that shit. Just trying to get Flashpoint, by the way. I guess, yeah, I think the biggest difference here is more like how, you know, a lot of countries' mentality works. But also you need to keep in mind the biggest thing in the USA, that when you're like, oh, why is it that bad in the USA, is simply, well, the FDA is underfunded and overworked. I mean, aside from the fact that they're supposed to be reactive, not proactive. That's a different thing, but still they're usually, you know, overworked. Which is ironic, because then you have the USDA, you know, which is basically just there to, oh, there we go, which is just there to check on meat, and they're not overworked. I think so. Everything that's not chicken is actually really high quality in the USA. I'm not saying that lightly. Meat, you know, red meat. Yeah, blow your nose. It's actually really good quality in the USA. It is, because again, you have people who actually routinely inspect everything, but they're also, you know, well funded for their size and what they need to do. The FDA is just, they need to handle everything else and they're underfunded. You could say by design, but I mean, I don't want to be like that person that's just like it's just kind of beating a dead horse at that point, which would be USDA approved, so probably high quality. Sorry. Anyway, the thing is more like, yeah, in one of the major differences is that the FDA has to react to things. This isn't, so basically, if there are, basically something, so basically, if something seems to make problems, then they test it and take it from the market. While in the EU, it's more like, you know, everything new has to be approved first, then it's allowed onto the market. Obviously, that leads to some good stuff being, you know, not being on the market as fast. I think one of the one of the best, more recent examples was stevia, if you remember that. Basically, it's a plant where they got a sweetener out of that is just really, really fucking sweet. And for a lot of people, this seemed to be the better sweetener than, well, a lot of things. Considering other sweeteners were found to have in really high concentration could help with cancer. It was a bit unsure, and there's a reason it was basically allowed here, and it needed to be really, really high doses, but still. In the USA, basically the moment they were able to produce it, they put it on the market. There probably is, yeah, but the thing with cancer curing is like there are a bunch of stuff. Like, just so you know, I actually worked in a cancer research facility for a while, and there are a bunch. Like, the thing is just cancer isn't universal. There's a bunch of shit that you can do to attack certain parts of cancers, but there is not really a universal cure, because cancer is a field of things and not just one. But there are some good ones, yeah. There have been like big steps being made. But the thing is, again, in the EU, it took years, because again, they tested it. Because they were like, yeah, could there be some hidden shit there? Turns out not, now it's on the market. But you see the difference, right? In the USA, something is on the market until there are problems, and then they pull it. And even then, it can take a long time, because again, the FDA is reactive and overworked and underfunded. Could be by design, I'm just saying. But yeah, that's why shit like that is still on the market. But also, they say they found nothing of harm in there. And it's like, wild how you're the only agency that has found nothing of harm in something that's banned in, I think, even in North Korea. Like, here's the thing. Even North Korea has banned this thing. Because literally every other country around them were like, that's bad. And they were like, yeah, I guess that's bad. Better ban it. Just wild. Oh yeah, God. So I hope everyone else is doing well so far. Again, my week has been so far sleep, eat, I guess, and sleep more, and watching Golden Kamuy in between. Good show, by the way. If you have access to, I guess, Crunchyroll or something, watch Golden Kamuy. It's a really fun show, and they have like 4 seasons. There's a lot of material. Great writing, great characters. Just overall, love it. I guess that's... Oh, nice. Yeah, I was also thinking if I should play that one day, but I would need to have it first. And again, I think the next game on the list will be My Friendly Neighborhood. You know, if Void Stranger is finished one day... Oh yeah, do you mean the one from Peter Jackson? That was actually really interesting. But yeah, mentally not okay. I get you. It's always this thing. I'm just gonna be happy when, I finally get back to the backlog TM. So it's so race it makes RE5 look good by comparison. Yeah! But it's still gonna be interesting to see how they tackle that in the remake. Probably way better though. But yeah, I hope you can get over your mental, if this is even to get over. I don't know what it is. I mean, people, and also you don't. Again, by the way, you can, but you don't need to. If you want to get something off your chest, Rogers, that's free to do. That's your choice to do. Like, I know this shit can be hard, especially writing stuff out, because sometimes you look into, I think I think this is always one thing about like this one thing about the internet. I think that a lot of people get conditioned to not talk about their own problems, or, not write them out in detail and such. And even though sometimes you can, actually find more people if you did do that, but it's like, oh no, I'm not supposed to do that, and it's like, that's bullshit. Yeah, that's what I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying that's a flaw or something. It's just I know why. It's usually something. Should I bother people? It's like oh hey, am I even allowed to do? I think this is the thing. The main problem one needs to get over in one head is, am I allowed to do this? Because I think a lot of people struggle with many problems. Because I think we have a very big moral purity problem currently, especially in online circles. Like, the idea of again, moral purity is so pervasive that it's like, you think the wrong thing, you're an outcast. And I think that's bullshit, because again, people think shit for a reason. Like, just put it like this, okay? I cannot understand people to a degree, but I don't think when, for example, let me put it like this: if someone talks about, how they maybe want to murder a person, okay, just going out there, this is wild stuff. This is kind of flat, but I don't think it makes a person bad if they talk about how intense those feelings are, what they do to them, because I think this is more an indication of what induces that, because you're not a bad person for thinking such things. Like, obviously you're angry due to a reason. Obviously there is something there, but again, in a lot of circles and in general in society, people are like, oh no, you think about murder, that makes you bad. Even though it's more like, sometimes you're just traumatized by that person and you really wish them the worst. That is at best just an indicator of of the trauma, not something about you. Because here's the thing: thinking about something and doing it are two very, very different things. And a lot of times, they are not even they're mutually exclusive. Like, I can tell you, a lot of people who have really violent, ideas of what they would, do to a person that, harmed them, traumatized them, will usually not do them. The thoughts are a form of coping, because, they're hurt, there's anger, but because someone who murders, they will not think like that. That's the thing, But still, then, people, especially in online circles, are like, oh no, you're trauma dumping, you're doing this and that. And it's like, no. you're not helping anyone with that. Yeah, I think that's the problem with a lot of people, because I think there are so many topics, you know, online that are just seen as taboos, that are stigmatized. Even though, you know, when someone thinks about them or has problems with them, the best thing to do would be literally just to have someone be able to talk to.
All soldiers are converging on this location.
But again, moral purity with the idea of, oh hey, if you talk to me about that, I could get infected. It's like, no. No. I guess you also would start being honest. Because you realize other people are more honest. But that's that. That's just the thing with mental problems. I'm not gonna pressure you or anything. This is up to you. It's just I'm not saying I will probably not be judging if anything is there. I mean, hell, back when I really should look into it again. Back when I still have a curious cat, but I haven't looked into it in years because I don't know why. It was also mostly just people asking for advice. I don't know why that happened. Oh, nice. But yeah, I hope it gets better, and that you maybe find someone to talk with, clear shit up. And doopy doopy doo 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 doo. There we go. But yeah. Next week on Tuesday, I think, is stadium time then. That's gonna be interesting. But yeah, also really interested in seeing where the, you know, last event Future Strike is going to go. I thought they will add, I really thought they will add Titan mode, but that would be very funny if they did. Oh yeah, there's a new map, new map. See, Claire, basically, when they reworked a bunch of the base game maps, they cut, there was a stadium, like a football stadium on one map, you know, based in Qatar, and they cut that out because, well, with Gesundheit. Gesundheit. You know, with the stadium, the map was just really fucking big. But people like the stadium because, you know, a football stadium is kind of cool as, you know, just a setting. So they reworked it into like its own map, and that's gonna release next week. It's apparently still already in the game. They're just unlocking it, which is like, yeah, still. Oh yeah. So gonna stream that, and I think it's the second infantry only map in this game. I think we have Redacted. That's, you know, the whole indoor biodome map. That's cool. Yeah, and I mean, I guess Haven to a degree, but Haven also has helicopters and stuff, so just more light armored vehicles. But yeah, Stadium is gonna be like complete infantry only map, and it's gonna be interesting. They said like, oh no, we have like Conquest 64 and Breakthrough, and everyone was like, okay. I'm just very interested. They really were like, you know, adding a lot of stuff to it. And just as I talk like this, I should definitely stop talking this much. I'm feeling it again. I need more tea. Yeah, that's the last map. As I also said in the beginning, because this is like the last season of the yeah, they're the only 2 infantry maps. But you know what? I'm fine. I think having 2 infantry maps is good. I think 2 infantry maps should be like the standard to a degree. But yeah, Claire, as I talked in the beginning, the thing is, this is like the last season of the game, and I mean, they're basically setting up basically 2 major factions, and like I do hope the GDL becomes like a 3rd faction. I want a like I only know the Minmata. It's the Minmata slogan from, well, not slogan. It's like the player slogan of the Minmatas in EVE Online. In Rust we trust. But like, here's the thing: factions that are like in Rust we trust. Like, just, oh, we use the old shit. We use everything that's gonna work. We use that. I love them. They just I love the idea of, you know, just they're making a new game. It's probably coming out next year. Which, I mean, I guess it's over time. Like, here's the thing. This game here, right here, is, I think, well, it came out in 2021. I know, wild, right? I mean, it didn't die, I guess. Yeah, late 2025. From what I know, it's, you should probably, say more hi to, how's it called? Usually they release in October, by the way. They usually release in October. Usually. I mean, just saying, yeah, you specifically said we didn't cancel anything Dead Space related, so like, yeah, they're probably just helping doing, you know, the SP and shit. But yeah, I don't know. The thing is just that, yeah. Again, this game is 3 years old at least. So like, kind of wild to think about, right? 2042 ends in 2024. But still. You're gonna, yeah. They're basically just setting up a lot of stuff in this thing, like, there's basically, that, like, I think I said this above, somewhere else, Claire, but basically, I heavily think the next title will be a sequel to this game, because they're, like, setting up so much. It was rough, indeed. Like, basically, the next one will be probably, you know, the most definitive, you know, prequel to 2142, because, like, I mean, hell, this, whoa, why do we see it here? Again, Thousand Petals Coalition. Europe discusses new union. Yeah, who comes with that, right? Right? Mm-hmm. Where are they? Organizations, yeah. Yeah, the Thousand Petals, which is like, look at this. Look at it. This is gonna be the next one. If you pan, oh no, it's already over in the fiction. No, it is. This is currently in 2048. Yeah. But yeah, the Thousand Petals, they're gonna be the main, one of the main factions in the next game. Like, here's the thing. This right here is you identify that. They have their own logo. You can have people cosplay that at conventions and people would notice what it is. 27 cents lawsuit plenty. Again, my bet is gonna be it's Battlefield 6, but the 6 is, you know, in Rome numbers highlighted in, you know, in a W and a 1 from World War III, you know, kind of like, you know, the Resident Evil titles do recently. That's my bet. But yeah, Thousand Petals, it's like, look at them. That's a main faction. Oh, nice. But also, sorry, you don't put this shit in a game. This right here, which is obviously proto-EU. Obviously. And not expect me to be like, yeah, no, definitely the sequel ditches all of that. No. The next title will be Mandate of Nations versus Thousand Petals Coalition. The thing I'm working on, which I'm saving my points towards, is while I would love to have the Red Hand stuff and TPC stuff, I don't have enough for all of them, and like, let me put it like this. Back when 2142 was being played, and you know, I played it back in the day, I you know what, I was just kind of a bit like, yay, the EU is a faction in here. I'm waiting for their skins. I hope they have drip. I truly hope they have drip. RE9. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. Here's the thing, Claire. As I said in the different stream, I even believe that, you know, quote unquote first April leak, that a Resident Evil 1 remake might, you know, come before that. Or more like Resident Evil 1 remake. Because again, Resident Evil 5 remake? Probably needs work. You know, they're probably reworking a bunch of stuff for a 5 remake. 9 probably also has problems, you know, considering the first leaks were, I think, American Northwest, and, you know, you have multiple locations and it's more open, you know, open exploration than 8. Yeah. Let me put it like this. They're probably still working on that. So when someone comes around and says like, oh yeah, they're remaking 1 again, I'm like, no shit. They're probably sitting on the 2 main projects that take up their time. We're probably like, can we do Code Veronica fast? And they were like, So we're probably like, let's just remake 1 again. That's the easiest. So yeah, 2026 doesn't sound that stupid. Honestly, at least a year in advance. I mean, remember how, I don't say that, like, remember, the last games, aside from Village, I think, and 4 maybe, were all announced around this time of the year. Like, there was, again, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 3 Remake, Resident Evil 8 and such. There was, I think around April, May, there was a state of play, and then, you know, it's like, oh yeah, we have something else for you, and then, boop, it's coming, and it's coming, I think, in February next year. That's how it goes. So, like, here's the thing. Let's just wait and see, you know? like, again, if yeah. So I bet they probably will be like, you know, that there probably is a state of play soonish, and when they announce some titles, and then they're like, oh yeah, this is our lineup for the rest of the, you know, fiscal year until next year, and they're gonna be like, yeah, Resident Evil is coming. If that's even real, that's the thing. But yeah, I mean, this week is a, you know, Nintendo Direct, so let's see what there comes. I don't know. You know what? The Switch 2 was also certain at a lot of points, and look, or the Switch Pro. Look how that never manifested. And now, again, I will say I see it. I will believe it when I see it with my own eyes. And yeah, I mean, hey, the Switch 2 seems like an extension of the Switch 1, so that's gonna be funny. I Switch Attach. I'm still laughing about that. That's just, but that's such a Nintendo name, and it fits their concept. It's gonna be so glorious. Sorry, if they actually have like a slot in there that you can play 3DS games and backwards on it, I will be happy. People will be like, why is that necessary? I'm like, fuck you, I can play Kid Icarus on this thing. Honestly, it's probably gonna look good, because, like, here's the thing. The most thing people are angry about is that, you know, when Bluepoint updates games, it's usually, you know, those with low poly counts, and then they change some stuff aesthetically, even though things are, like, here's the thing, okay? I'm gonna break like a leg for them, because here's the thing. Bluepoint usually orients itself at things, you know, the makers did later on. I don't know if that. I don't think that. I think this is what a lot of I think the problem is more like a lot of the games they touch were unique, but, you know, then had stuff that was just weird. But, like, if you for example look at Shadow of the Colossus, I know people will be like, but it was like dreamscapey and stuff, and it's like, here's the thing. If you put the Shadow of the Colossus remake side by side with The Last Guardian, they look incredibly similar. And I probably can tell you why. Because they probably looked at The Last Guardian to be like, you know, a game in the lineage of, you know, Shadow of the Colossus and Ico, in the same world even, I think. To be like, okay, where did the aesthetic of the maker go with future generations and, you know, better technology, and oriented on that. Similar with Demon's Souls remake. Like, people are like, oh look, the first boss isn't like a weird texture bulb with glowing eyes anymore. And I'm like, but you know, they would have designed them that way similarly, right? Like, if you put, you know, the Demon's Souls remake side by side with Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne, or Elden Ring now, they look incredibly similar. Sure, the Demon's Souls remake to a degree better, because, you know, they have better they kind of have the better technology at the studio, but they look very, very similar. It's definitely inspired by those. Which, again, you can't really do a lot of stuff like that. You just have to. I think they. And let me put it like this. Except for with Art Deco UI. Honestly, I like that. I honestly really like that. the Art Deco UI in Demon's Souls. It was cool. It was minimalistic, but it had something.
Forces spilled out into a larger conflict. We need to uproot them before they reach our headquarters and disrupt control of the area. Break out
It
the
was,
sector and
bit.
restore control over our territory. The hostile
Honestly, what do you want more? That they just make it really slap shit?
find a foothold in this place.
Like the original game?
Presence is a
Like,
substantial threat.
that is just like, it was a unique choice, yeah, but like, it's kind of weird that people are like divisive about that. Like the original UI, it was not like.
Drive out any hostile
Let me just be clear: the original UI in Demon's Souls was not really good. Yeah. I think the UI in Demon's Souls remake is kind of better and has, just a bit more style. On the other hand, I wish there was like, a Souls game set in kind of an Art Deco setting. That would be something. Yeah, I guess so. Until then, you can still play Bioshock 1 and 2. Not 3, though. Fuck 3. I mean, here's the thing. I don't know. They have put a lot of stuff on the back burner for Elden Ring. From what I know, they still have a deal. I mean, okay. So from what I know, they made a deal with Sony to develop 3 games. And so 2 are still coming. So who knows? There a scene? What? Oh, that one. I think that could be. It could have been one of them. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think that was one of them. But basically they, from what I know, they were like, you can make 3 titles however you want to do it. And from what I, this could have been another one. I don't know. The thing that I know is what infos about one title of that leaked, and I can see why it probably is stuck in development hell. Because it seems absolutely bonkers from what they are planning to do. So, okay, so Gesundheit. Gesundheit. Yeah, as you can hear, illness is still in this household. I feel like shit. I just want to order pizza again and don't care. But yeah, hopefully I'm good enough that I can, buy shit tomorrow. Okay, so basically it's a fantasy role-playing game, okay? And similar to Dark Souls, you're supposed to, explore a world and dungeon delve for items and stuff. But the big thing, what it was supposed to set apart, is that it's melee hand-to-hand combat only. And weapons are at best stuff that you pick up that break. The idea is that you have to focus on your martial arts skills. And like, you can understand why that probably is set in development. And also, from what I know, Gesundheit. Well, no, Sifu isn't like open exploration stuff, you know, where you still have some RPG elements and, you know, can build your own movesets and combos and shit. Who knows? There are actually a bunch of games like that, you know, from indie devs over the last years. And also devs wanted to be like, I think, Aztec / Inca aesthetic. So, you know, South American mythology. It sounded wild as shit. But also, you know, not unrealistic. Like, here's the thing, okay? If you look at the idea of, you know, the stuff with Bamco, you know, being the stuff that brings back the money for the studio, it was probably more like, you know, hey, the stuff with Sony is, let's just experiment with the weird shit. And, or, you know, the one title they were able to do with Activision, else I would have, I bet with you, if Activision wouldn't have probably given them a lot of money, Sekiro would have been one of those games. 100%. The thing is, they definitely they definitely are on a trip of, you know, let's iterate on the formula that we have. Because, yeah, look at Bloodborne. Bloodborne was basically, how can we make our combat more aggressive? So they set it in England. Then they, that is probably also the case, yeah, and Activision was like, oh yeah, you know what, a From Software game, we take that. I mean, they still have the Sony deal, so, you know, they probably can. But yeah, the thing is that you know, Bloodborne was, how can we make it more, you know, visceral and aggressive? And then you look at, for example, and then you look at this league, and they're like, oh hey, how about we focus on expanding the melee, you know, hand-to-hand combat, which is like, yeah, that's obviously one of the problems, you know, one of the parts that if you want to make like a really deep immersive sim, you know, exploration RPG, like, let's say, I don't know, King's Field 5, you kind of want to, you know, balance out every single aspect of your RPG formula, like, you know, having a stealth, you know, game to explore stealth, having a game to explore open world, like Elden Ring, having games, you know, to explore aggressive combat with weapons, and then a game to explore, you know, hand-to-hand combat. Is this saying they're working towards King's Field 5? I don't know, but they're probably doing it in some case, because that's the thing, you know. King's Field was always kind of an immersive sim game, while also being a dungeon crawler. Obviously, they're trying to, when you look at all their recent games, trying, you know, to see how certain parts of their formula can be, you know, tuned and worked upon. And they're all stuff they kind of tried in King's Field once. Yeah. They're probably working towards something, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Armored Core being back was like, this was probably more like, you know, look at fuck. They probably were like, you know, look, we just make money. So they were like, yeah, just make a mecha game. Like, and they made a mecha game. And it made money. So who cares? I just realized I shouldn't talk that much about juicy topics. Eh. We're gonna see some rumors for the next, but I mean, we already have them. Tom Henderson, again, Tom Henderson put out NATO versus PMC. And I just, again, I'm just pointing at the fact that the Thousand Petals Coalitions has a lot of mercenary squadrons, and is funded by a lot of big Asian companies. And the mandate of nations is, it's fucking NATO. Like, from what we know, it's NATO. It's European countries and the US folded into one, which is like, yeah, obviously that allows them to avoid, saying the USA is in the next game. So, yeah, that I know people are like, that's not definitive proof. I'm like, it's weird to introduce like a gigantic Asian faction that has, where the sub squadrons are, mostly, mercenaries. Like, just look at this. Like here, again, I think the Skullcaps, yeah, they're mercenaries. I think they're also, the battalions are also, mostly, yeah. It's weird that they, introduce a faction that has a lot of mercenary squadrons. And then, tease one that is basically NATO. And then, if someone says, oh yeah, the next one is, NATO versus, like, PMCs. And people are like, is it definitely a sequel? I'm saying it lines up really well. Yeah, but you probably will see some teasers and stuff. Roughly, Like, here's the thing, I don't want to promise shit, and I don't remember when the teasing starts, but usually, the teasing starts at the beginning, which should probably start at the beginning of next year. Like, rumors probably gonna be the most substantial around October, but I'd say I think, the first reveal / teaser trailer, if they're confident, that's the thing. Let me put it like this. If you want to have a signifier of how far the game is or in what kind of state it is, look at when they reveal it. I'd say if the reveal is in, the teasing starts again in roughly April, May next year, it's probably gonna be around, it's probably gonna be the same as this and 5. It's gonna be like, in a solid state. Now, one thing I can see though, and this is, I know this is wishful thinking, but there's one thing I can see, that they reveal it at the Game Awards. And if that happens, we might be in for a good one. Because again, usually they don't reveal their games that early.
The enemy's low on troops.
But it could be that they do it there. That's just my guess. It could go either way.
Our defense is stabilized. Buckle down and keep pushing back against the enemy. Enemy soldier! Heading back! Mark the new objective for you, notepads.
I just realized I'm not working on my kills above 100 meters. I thought I would get that more. Shit. Damn it. The thing is, I'm actually... Okay, here's the thing. I don't know how good it will be. But like, I'm not even that mad that this game ends now. Because like... So here's the thing. Despite what what you probably heard about, what you think about me, I actually also like Call of Duty games. Not that much the recent ones. Like I have MW3 and
All objectives are under our control. Sector
it's
is ours.
fine. Let me put it like that. I was able to play War Mode recently again, and it's fine. It's fun actually. But like, the thing is just, you know, this year is the next Treyarch one, and like Cold War was the last, you know, good one of the Call of Duties, the recent ones, and even that had, you know, had many problems because of the shit they had to force into, you know, MW19, which is like, god damn it, I just
Comms armed. Then wipe out the enemy.
that game. But that's the thing. I'm just sitting here hoping that it might be better. But who knows? The worst part is it's called Gulf War, so I'm like, oh god. Like, are we gonna have the Russians did it this time? Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, Trek at least had, you know, the guts to, you know, Trek and Raven kind of had the guts to do, you know, the ending to the last, to Cold War, which was funny. Like, so I guess spoiler, but, basically, there's the, there are two endings in, you know, Cold War. Basically, they're both a choice, but the whole narrative of the game is set up that it's about who do you trust. So it's not even about, it's not, you know, one of those choices at the end that are just, you know, coming arbitrary and it's like, why the fuck is it here, other than to say we have multiple endings. It's actually there because, you know, the whole top theme of the game is who and what can you trust, and, you know, when everything is on the table, it's about what can you choose. Ironically, the bad ending, the betrayal ending, is the good ending for your character. But the canon ending, which is the good ending, is the bad ending for your character. So that's actually kind of neat. So I guess I just have to spoil the story there. But I mean, if that's okay with people. I mean, would it be okay if I just spoil the story? Because I kind of want to talk about why I like that. Okay, so basically, you're playing a Russian, basically a Russian agent that has been, well, kind of brainwashed and tortured by the Americans. Gesundheit. You know, for what I say, the greater good. The greater good being, so the Americans planted a fuck ton of bombs beneath Europe. And the thing is just that, you know, one rogue Spetsnaz group kind of found out about that and, you know, reverse engineered the key. So, while the beginning was more like, well, you know, the story unfolds more and more where, you know, also the people get angry, like, why the fuck are there a bunch of, you know, nukes beneath Europe? And you're gonna say, yeah, you know what, you know, if there's ever World War III, we can just nuke Europe and the commies can't advance, which is like fucked. So basically, yeah, you're not really playing good people in that story. And the ending is basically that you find out that, you know, the Spetsnaz group is basically saying, you know what, how about we just detonate them? Because, like, it's not our nukes. It was it was American nukes. They never told anyone about. So their plan is, you know, we just nuke parts of Europe, and Europe will be obviously so pissed. Because again, who placed those bombs there? That NATO will collapse, and, you know, obviously the Soviet Union will persist and stuff like that. So the end choice is, do you help the Americans, you know, that this doesn't happen, that the nukes are not being fused, or do you betray them? And that's actually kind of interesting because, yeah, there's a whole ending where you just say, fuck you. Because again, and this is probably this one thing that this game was very good about, that it ended, that it really made you feel like, no, you're not making an arbitrary dumb choice at the end. Like, yeah, the option is, do you nuke Europe or not? But also, it would collapse the Americas, the USA, NATO, and they've been shit in the game. They've put the nukes there to begin with. So that's that. You can literally betray them and nuke Europe. That's one ending. You literally pull the trigger and it's over. And in the good ending, well, you prevent that and then they get shot in the face. So they really were like totally I like that, but still, I don't know. Yeah, that's Cold War. That's Cold War. They did that. The quote-unquote good/canon ending is you get shot in the face because the Americans you work with are still assholes that want to bury every single lead that they that people could find out that they planted nukes beneath Europe. That's the thing, I mean, it's still cool that they did that, But yeah, I don't know how good Gulf War is gonna be. I mean, the sad part is that Gulf War is probably just mostly... Here's the thing, okay? Can I be cynical for a second? Basically, MW19 started the whole, thing where the Call of Duty games got more and more similar in, gameplay-wise. That's why, for example, all of them have gunsmith now, and I doubt Gulf War is gonna be like much different there. And I mean, they're supposedly using the same engine now. I doubt they're gonna, have something like Pick 10. I doubt they're gonna have MW19 was really not that good, sadly. It really is just there. It's fine, but it's definitely not the same. It's like, it's competently made, but it has nothing to say. It's just, things are there because they're expected to be there. And also the whole Tango Zulu shit is just... I just didn't vibe with the campaign is what I'm saying. Like... the campaign felt like there was stuff in there because it needed to be there, like it was a checklist, not because, oh, this was necessary to do, or, a sensible addition to the game to say anything, And I didn't play MW2 once, but, from what I know, people only liked it because there was because it was kind of an accidental buddy comedy on the side. So, I could play. You know what? I could play the one from MW3, but let's just be clear, here, okay? When a game just repeats Modern Warfare 3 and parts of Modern Warfare 2, it's just oh, okay. Well, I mean, from what I know, the MW3 campaign, you know, the remake one, reboot one, is just trying to do basically beats of the original one, but not even remotely the same. So, because you can't actually change the status quo in the newer games. Like here's the thing, you know what really sucks about that? Yeah, I mean, gameplay-wise, it was apparently is also not that good, but here's the thing. You know what sucks? Basically, no one can die in these games anymore. Because that's the problem, okay? You know, before that, the MP was just, you kind of made your own character and such, but now you have all these specialists and shit. And so because they're specialists, you can't let them die in the campaign anymore. Remember how Ghost was just a cool person that died at the end of MW2? I don't even think Makarov is dead now, because I think they have to do that stuff. And it's like, again, they can't kill off characters now, because those characters are potential skin sellers. Just wow. I mean, let's just not forget, the ending to the old MW3 is not, you know, when you stop the war. It's literally just the two last survivors of, you know, the Special Forces team from the first 3 games just go on a literal suicide mission to finally end Makarov, because they just like, fuck this shit, we're ending this vendetta here and then. And it's brutal as fuck. Like, yeah. They're not gonna do that anymore nowadays. It's just toothless. Yeah, we'll see how that is. Oh well. Otherwise, yeah, if you need something to get over the year of the time, you should definitely watch Golden Kamuy. That's just a really good show. I am actually surprised I haven't.
Also fucked up.
It's fucked up, and then it's just goofy as shit. Feeling better?
I have chocolate now.
Ah, yes, chocolate, the cure against everything. Not really a cure, but you do feel
there's
better.
Strawberry in there, so it's heavy.
Honestly, can you feel bad when you have eaten chocolate?
What would you think if I threw you into a big boiling pot of chocolate?
Okay, that would still hurt, but it would be chocolate.
Yeah. But would you be okay?
Not really.
Kamu is like, I don't know, a fucked up, funny cooking show.
Yeah, no. It's a really fucked up period piece about the psyche of humans and the horrors of war and what they do to them. And then it's also just a really goofy adventure show with slapstick comedy and cooking. Like, literally, half of the show...
comprehensive, yes.
Yeah, half of the show is just the protagonists going through Hokkaido and being like, these are all the ways and how you can eat the shit out of the island. Just, literally. Oh, Fallout is so good. Honestly, you need to watch that. Oh, you know what? Now that I think about it, I don't know where the topic, where Dungeon Meshi goes. Maybe we're gonna watch that when it's probably over because Netflix is just weird. But like, fun fact, Golden Kamuy is also kind of like that, in that, again, the main protagonist is just always like, this is how you can eat this and this from nature. It's just like half a cookbook. She's just like, oh yeah, this is how you can eat it. And she wants everyone to eat brain. She just fucking loves eating brain. It's adorable. Like, Golden Kamuy is great. And then again, insanely well-written character pieces about a lot of stuff. Like, you know, the horrors of war, for example. But yeah, there are a bunch of good shows out there right now. I mean, at least I finally was able to watch Matrix Resurrections. That was a good movie, not going to lie. I actually like the fact that, you know, it was more talking than the original ones, because, like, people are like, oh, it didn't have that much... It still had action scenes, you know? Good ones. And some fun callbacks. Like, how was it called? The French guy from the second movie just showing up and just ranting about modern, you know, about modern media landscape. It's just like, oh god, that's just, I love it. I fucking love it. Fun fact, you know how much I knew about the movie before going in? Fucking nothing, because I actually keep my head, I'm actually pretty good at avoiding spoilers, like, yeah. Pretty good. Things were better when I was in charge, and yeah, and then he just rants about, you know, how the media landscape was different. But like, it's not like they had a bone to pick with Warner Brothers. It's like, they drop so many subtle stuff, so many stuff that's just blatantly, yeah, this is about the movie industry right now. And then you just have some other good, you know, and some, you know, some social commentary about, you know, how people seemingly don't want to want revolution anymore, which, you know, is a good update to, you know, consider how they're all, you know, I mean.
Marked a new objective for you, notepads.
Very blatantly, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, you know. I don't think I think the stuff they did with 4 is like, I know some people are like, oh, you know, you can't make a you know, a 5th movie now because it's so definite. It's like, here's the thing. The first one was also pretty much definite. It was over, and they still made 2 more movies, you know? I think, if anything, this movie is, you know, them, you know, critiquing Warner Brothers and just making it like, shit is hollow. Also, you need to definitely make, it just makes it hard to set up because, you know, well, Trinity is now on the same level as Neo. They're just this. Like, here's the thing. I know they couldn't done it because Warner Brothers is a shitty piece of shit, but like, I mean, Neo is a trans allegory, and now her girlfriend is also did the same thing. It's just like, yeah, the 4th movie is like, trans girlfriends can reshape the world we live in. It's like, you go, Lana. That's good. I mean, the irony is that, you know, The Adventure Continues wasn't really the note of Matrix 1. The ending was actually pretty final in Matrix 1. Like, the thing is that, you know, in Matrix 1, the movie is like, Neo became Jesus. Well, trans Jesus. They are so powerful, nothing can stop them. I mean, in the end, stuff did, but
Give limited reinforcements.
again, the thing was the first movie was a trans allegory, and then the second and third movie were about, telling all the red pill shots, no, you are idiots, and your little revolution that's in your head is actually completely planned by the system. Well, now the fourth movie is more like, and you literally stop trying to do everything. Fucking losers, which is, wild. And then you also had, I'm just gonna be honest with you here, the fact that they, they wrote in the scene, where that Trinity says, "My name is Trinity," is just like, chef kiss, wonderful. Like, the fact that she also ends up, as trans Jesus, thank you very much. I just love that, yeah. The movie was great. And then again, more talking, but the talking was, to a degree, always the strong stuff of the series. Like, yeah, people remember, like, oh, look at the crazy fights and such, but, like, the strong stuff really was, the machines put Neo and Trinity back in the Matrix and made it so that the versions of them other people saw would be entirely different to the versions they saw in the mirror. Wonder what that could mean. Oh yeah, like, it is kind of wild to think about the fact that they just doubled down on the trans allegory. Like, oh hey, like, oh, she's one, like, they were 100% blue pilled. I'm like, oh, you really want to make it more obvious, or just talk more about how the choice is an illusion, because you do know what you need to do, but you're just too scared about what you could lose, and it's like, yeah, Lana didn't fuck around anymore, is what I'm saying. She really doesn't fuck around anymore with that. Also, I love the fact that it's like, oh yeah, we just made we made the Matrix infinitely more painful to live in, but that just made the people more obedient and also more, it just increased the power output, and this is why I became, the new chef of the robots, which is like, yeah, end stage capitalism was discovered by the robots. It's still kind of interesting to hear, like, yeah, it was it was actually the one logical conclusion after the third movie, like, they probably wanted to rebuild Trinity and Neo because, Gesundheit. Gesundheit. Like, here's the thing, okay? I guess the machines at the end of the third movie were probably like, yeah, let's just be nice and save them, rebuild them. But again, then they had the whole just infighting, which, I mean, makes sense. Makes sense that a bunch of the machines, if they not one hive mind, are gonna be like, no, we want to keep control. Like, to a degree, you could see that as, you could see that as a metaphor for, fascism rebounding after, the queers getting more, I know I could dive into a lot of stuff here. It's just a good movie. It's just a really good movie with so much There's so much good shit, but like, yeah, I don't know. I think, oh, Draw. That's the first time I see a Draw actually, you know, on front lines. Damn. So I guess one more round and then we end this. Yeah, Matrix Resurrections was good. Also, let me again. I need to reiterate that, but it is a fucking crime that there was this movie with so much drip going on, and people didn't go out of the movie and were like, maybe we should have more drip in our clothing as well. Like, can we just you know, dress like the Matrix in the 90s again? Can we just have drip again?
Let's move.
It's like, huh? Yeah, the movie is good. The movie's really good. Do wonder what Lana's gonna do next. So, I don't know. It's probably gonna be more of an action flick, I'd say, but considering how the latest one will be, here's the thing. The one thing, it depends. It depends, I'd say. There can be, you know, people who can make an interesting one. I bet.
You have been
But,
assigned to the central territory to supplement our offense and reach enemy headquarters. This is a vital proving ground for the mandate. If we stop them here, it will put us at a significant advantage. Do everything you can to uproot them. We are counting on you.
like, that's the thing about the Matrix movies, you know? The problem with them is that the first one is an allegory. The second and third one are reactions. And the fourth one is also an allegory again. You could keep doing that, but nearly all of the allegories that, you know, you could have done with the Matrix have been done. That's the problem, you know? Like, what I mean is, like, again, the first Matrix is a trans allegory. I don't think we need to discuss that. It's just, it is literally fucking full of that. Like, how, you know, I mean, everything from the blue to red pill, you know, then, or, you know, just the fucking scene about, you know, Neo wrestling with a Smith in an abandoned subway station, you know, and I think Lana Wachowski also wanted to take her life in an abandoned subway station until she accepted herself, and the scenes literally ends with Neo saying, "My name is Neo," which is like, yeah, it's kind of obvious what this movie was going for, is what I'm saying. Oh, you didn't know that, Rogers? Yeah, I'm sorry to burst the bubble, but yeah, the first Matrix movie is just a very blatant, it's just a very blatant trans allegory. Like, I mean, you need to keep in mind, the antagonist of the movie constantly dead names the protagonist, and it hurts him. Smith saying Mr. Anderson and pronouncing the Mr. sharp. That's shit trans, especially trans women, that hurts. If you're like, oh shit, that hurts hearing that, like, yeah, it's because he's constantly misgendering him, Neo. It is constantly misgendering Neo. And Neo literally says, my name is Neo, being like, this is my name, shut the fuck up, don't call me Mr. Anderson. Again, the first estradiol pills that were given to trans women back in the day were red. So taking the red pill was literally taking estrogen. There were more stuff. Like, there was a character that was just very obvious to be like, I think, outside, like in the to just be, I think non-binary or gender switching. Like on the ship, I think they were supposed to be male, but in the Matrix they were supposed to be female. But in the final movie they just look very androgynous because Warner Brothers are cowards. There was a lot more, like, also Keanu Reeves was cast because I think they were supposed to be become more feminine over the course of the movie, because again, this is a fucking again, a lot of those struggles are getting out of your, especially the feeling of the world around you doesn't feel real, you don't feel real, and you need to find and accept yourself. It is very blatantly trans allegory, and again, the Resurrections is just even more blatant about it. That's why they also talk about the illusion of choice, because the blue pill is to a degree is not only a stand-in for again, red is also coding for girls, blue is coding for boys. The blue pill is also about just keep going, the fear of losing the little thing you have, even though antidepressants, they're also blue, I know. It's like, do you take estrogen and become yourself, or do you keep taking antidepressants and just carry on? And the whole movie is about the feeling of alienation, and you don't know why until you take the red pill and it's choosing your name. And also, it was made by 2 trans women. It's like, I want to be honest with you. I think every discussion about is the Matrix actually a trans allegory literally probably died at the end, where the second sister just came out as trans, and everyone's like, yeah, I get it. Duh. But yeah, that's just a big thing. That they, Then again, a bunch of that imagery doesn't really work, because I think even in the US, estrogen pills are now blue even, which is ironic. But yeah, the original ones were red. So. That's and that's the thing at the end. That's why the Matrix 1 ends how it does, because Neo accepts themselves, and literally the moment Neo says, my name is Neo, so fights back against the dead naming of Agent Smith, they literally gain the power to shape the Matrix and become the One. And in the end of the movie, they can fly. that's actually how it ends. Like, you accept being trans and you gain superpowers. That's the ending of The Matrix. I mean, again, the second movie is, you know, more of a reaction to the first one, because, again, I'd say if you're trans and you resonated with a lot of stuff, like, you know, the whole alienation, or, you know, the world around you feels fake, or, you know, you feel like you're inhabiting a wrong body. Again, in the fourth one, in you looking completely different to themselves in the mirror than what other people see. It's just like, just even more obvious, you know. That it resonates with you, but like, if you're, you know, a teenager in the 90s and you're like, oh, there's a system out there, dude, and then, you know, a lot of very awful people started talking about the red pill, which they still do. And this is why Matrix 2 and 3 were made, because, well, I mean, listen, I don't even need to tell you this. The second Matrix movie literally says it in your fucking face. Like, I know everyone is like, oh, the scene with the architect is bad. You know, the scene where, you know, he's in the room with the monitors. Literally. The fucking scene is, Neo gets into a room with a white guy in a white suit, an old white dude in a white suit, looking at all the monitors, and just literally explaining to your face, your little revolution, your little, you know, thing is planned. Do you really think you can escape the system? No. We know there will always be some parts that will rebel. So obviously we plan for them to have, you know, some commodified rebellion that we then can quench. It's not like the movie literally says to your face that just pretending to do a revolution is the same as a revolution. It's to relate rape. Yeah. But yeah, that's the second and third movie. They're mainly about, oh well, you know, the second movie is about, you know, how a rebellion, you know, is inherently futile because, well, it is kind of planned for by the system. And then the third movie is about how the system is unable to deal with fascism. I mean, literally, that's the third movie. I mean, yeah, I know you could probably sit there and be like, what? Where was that? The thing is, look at this. In the second movie, the system thinks it has everything under control, while in the background, slowly, you see Agent Smith is literally taking everything over. Every single bit is getting taken over by Smith. And like, quite literally, actually. And also, the thing is, Agent Smith was an agent of the system in the first movie, then gets angry. Originally, videos about Magic, they never had anything close to your interpretation. Interesting. Hey, Car42. I don't know. I mean, I think the trans one is very obvious. I think the, reaction to the system is also, kind of obvious. Again, the movie spells it out to you. And again, if you look at Agent Smith in the third one, literally they're taking over the system by just making everyone Smith, which is, fascism is built upon making everyone, it's not the same, but you know, putting the, putting their own idea through. And the system is just unable to do anything about that. Like, that's the thing. The Matrix becomes an absolutely shitty place as soon as the, well, you know, the guy that, the one guy that constantly, how's it called, that named Neo in the first movie, and then, you know, constantly being, you know, literally angry at everyone, you know, not doing shit against Neo, just takes over the Matrix because he thinks I'm doing better. He's doing better. And in the end, the whole conflict is resolved because, well, the system, you know, the Matrix, which is a stand-in for capitalism, you know, the current capitalist democratic system, as we know it, literally has to watch how Smith takes everything over, and the solution is that they have to accept, you know, the truce with, you know, the queers, slash humans, so else they will not even have a, you know, smidge of you know, hope to defeat Smith. And Smith is worse. Keep in mind, Smith is worse. But yeah, I mean, you can throw my interpretation out, but this is how I saw the Matrix movies, at least.
The next objective is marked on your radar.
Hope you find something better. And then I guess about Resurrections, I don't really need to talk about that much. It's partially talking about how people became too complacent with the current system, and, you know, being acquainted, like, that it sucks that they want to, you know, they don't want to lose stuff even more. They don't want to lose things, you know, even more, which is, you know, holding them more hostage, which, I mean, again, that's the thing, the fascists, the power that they thought they could use to control people turned out to have no limits to that they wanted to control. Who knew? Yeah, also keep in mind, Smith / fascism develops from the system. That's actually kind of important. The moment the system has, you know, someone in the system feels they, you know, could control more, God, I suck. Caught in 4K, how much I suck. I mean, yeah. Look at the current fascist rise in the USA. What do you see? A lot of them come from inside of the system. They rose from inside of the system, and they because they think the system didn't do fascism enough. Well, I just say Matrix 3 was ahead of its time. And yeah, again, the fourth one is just even more blatant about how, you know, people don't want to, you know, out themselves and stuff, because yeah, I think the whole thing about, you know, the more cruel the world is, the more people are afraid to lose the bit they have. And again, they spell out the thing that the choice is an illusion, because you know, if you keep carry on, as you know, and you know take the blue pill and keep carrying on, it's not gonna end well. The fascists are tech bros now. I mean, honestly, the irony is that, is to a degree that, you know, the old fascist was replaced by tech bros just having absolutely shitty ideas about society. Just saying. And Smith rightfully wanting to have their revenge. But yeah. But yeah, also that it is just very obvious. Just being like, oh, that's Smith. Oh yeah, right. Sorry, my voice isn't really the best today. The things you do to please the algorithm. I hope it's fun at least.
Retreat! We must regroup and defend the next sector.
Yeah. But where do I want to go with that thought? Still, they're good movies, I'd say, but yeah. The problem is if you take all of that away, what are you left with?
Give me the plan.
You're basically left with, I guess. So here's the thing, okay? The problem is that everything in the Matrix is kind of an allegory, okay? In the first, it's, you know, just scraping humans for energy slash, you know, production. The fact that, you know, queer and subculture people break out of the system because and it gives them power, and the system hates that. The you know, the second and third are about fascism and how the system tries to control revolutions. The fourth is, you know, just a bit of all of that just together. The major thing is that if you scrape that, all of that, you're left with a pretty cool looking apocalypse setting that is literally solved in 1 second the moment anyone realizes they just need to build higher towers. Like, I'm sorry, really? Like, here's the thing. Everything in Matrix is an allegory. That's why humans are used as a literal resource and trapped in a system. If you just look at the fucking thing, and, you know, as they said in the first movie, the robots ran on solar power. Okay? They ran on solar power. That is established. So we know solar power is strong enough in that world to provide for everyone. And they have geothermal in, you know, at the core of the Earth. The thing is now, we know from the third movie that, yes, the humans clouded the sky, which, you know, led to the machines being like, okay, then I guess we use US batteries, because, you know, we can't use solar anymore. We know from the third movie there is still light above the clouds. The robots just need to build taller towers. Solar power for everyone. That's the problem. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, if you strip the allegory, you are literally left with a setting where the major problem can be resolved by building a taller tower.
Or a wind turbine.
Or winter, for that matter. Like, you know what? I don't know. I think the oceans are gone, but wind should be still there. It seems windy. Like, yeah. You see what I mean with the problem of the Matrix, you know, being not allegories anymore? It needs to be held up artificially. The price of a Duracell sponsorship is steep. I mean, ask Alan Wake, and they sucked. So, you know. Again, I don't know. The problem is really Matrix 5 can only go towards, well, liberating the humans, I guess. Would that be interesting? I guess, to a degree. You could definitely make it non-interesting, but I mean, yeah. Again, sorry for my voice, but the main problem of the Matrix is you would need to turn something that is just allegory after allegory after allegory into just generic sci-fi. That's not that it can be bad. They could also build energy collecting satellites or go to space. But yeah, they could. That or tell a smaller, more personal stake story, yeah. But that's the thing. Yeah, Warner Bros. wants the bullet time fights. And holy shit, the fact that Resurrections was already not really, you know, a fighting blockbuster movie. Like, yeah, that was cool. That was cool. But yeah, Carved. Yeah, why the fuck are the robots still on Earth? Like, okay, you don't need to breathe. You don't need to take. You don't need to eat. You don't need to do anything. Humans are kind of a shit energy source. Again, solar is there, wind is there.
Geothermal is there.
What?
Geothermal should still
Geothermal is there. But yeah, as you said, why was there a war to begin with? And because again, the machines, they could have just gone to space. You're right, they could have just gone to space. Because why? Oh, but what about resources? Sorry, asteroids are full of minerals. Way purer and better than...
I mean, if they really wanted Earth, they could have just left, get all the resources from the other planets and then nuke Earth.
If they wanted to, yeah. Like, the plan of the robots are shit. You know, if it wasn't an allegory, that's what it comes back to. Yeah, probably. Okay, you know what? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing. I don't think you need to overthink that because, again, it's an allegory. It's there for a reason. It serves a purpose in the story. Sometimes it's just that, if it's not, you know, too stupid. But, like... Matrix 5 is gonna be sci-fi John Wick. You know what the funniest part is? Honestly, I kinda hated the fact that they didn't cut his hair. They should have cut... They should have cut his hair. Like, you know what? Seeing, actually, you know, seeing Keanu Reeves with a shaved head and just realizing, holy shit, that guy is old, just make me feel like, just give him short hair again. Give him the fucking Neo haircut. Why the fuck does he have to run around looking like John Wick? Everything I will see now is John Wick, not Neo. Give him Neo's haircut. Like, why? Yeah. Yeah, that could be the case. I mean, again, allegory. It's all allegories, all the way down. And the rest would just be sci-fi. I mean, hey, you that's the thing about the sci-fi setting, or sci-fi or fantasy, okay? You have two options always. You either have a sci-fi setting that is there to, think about struggles in a society, or you make it allegories. Because, a lot of the weirdest ones are just, I mean, if you think about it for 1 second, they do not make that much sense. Oh, come the fuck on! Look at me, look at how I failed to hit.
Not good at this.
I really am not good at this, especially when I'm probably a bit ill, but I kinda need to do long shots.
Probably.
What?
Probably.
Yeah. That could actually work as a plot. How do you say it? Yeah. The more that we analyzed it, the more we came to a conclusion about that. Big cloud generated machine matrix factions running to maintain their profits. I mean, this series is kind of about, environmental pollution, so, But then again, you don't really have to ask me about stuff like that. You know what the problem is with allegories and sci-fi? I'm not good at them. Like, not in the sense that I don't spot them. Like, again, some of them are kind of obvious. The problem is just, an allegory is usually just very fucking obvious. And for good reason. It's just, when I write about stuff, well, I try to think about settings, I just couldn't. Like, if someone would put a, gun to my head and said, write a sci-fi stuff where a lot of stuff is allegory, I would just cry. I mean, also because of the gun, but I would just cry because, no. Like, every allegory is just too obvious. And kinda stupid. And yes, they work if someone else does it, but for me it's just like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to do the obvious thing. It's like...
Just hide it behind 3 layers of sci-fi.
I couldn't do it either way. Like, I don't know, here's the thing, if I want to, I can, can be down with, sci-fi stuff where it's like, yeah, this is kind of, probably not quote-unquote realistic, because most of it is, but it's still gonna be, like, interesting stuff, about how people interact with that. Like, for example...
I mean, most sci-fi is technically science fantasy.
Yeah, it
really
is nowadays.
Fiction.
It is, but then again, also you need to keep in mind that a lot of science fiction / sci-fi, that, what we would say nowadays is just definitely fantasy shit, was once hard sci-fi. Like, for example, look at the old Gundam shows. The whole new type thing is like, literally, the whole thing about Espers and such was just something people thought would just be, in the 70s, we're like, yeah, we're gonna be. We're like really short in, just really short of a breakthrough, and then we just have psionics and shit. That was considered hard sci-fi, because back in the day, people really believed, and scientists believed, that's doable. The brain should have that potential. We now know better, so, in the 80s and 90s, it just dropped.
How do you come to the idea that it should have the potential?
And you have to write an allegory, the voice changer that will patch it, and you're like, no! No! I want to write about shit how there's a neural interface unit for mechas, and it rams spikes down, in pairs down your spine. So the ace pilots that use it the most have like really have punctual scars, and girls find that attractive. That's the shit I want to write about. I don't write allegories, I write horny. And I guess it's an allegory? Don't know.
Allegory for scars are hot.
Scars are hot, I'm sorry.
All objectives lost. Withdraw to the
I mean, I agree, but
Yes. Yeah, that was just happen if you go into space school. I mean, yeah, it's not eugenics, which is like... Let's just be real here. The
they
original
could have
Gundam show...
taken eugenics with it. Just like send children to space.
You know, more like in the sense that, you know, most eugenics was like, you know,
Yeah,
white
I know.
people are superior.
I know.
You can definitely talk more now.
Yeah, right now I can.
Nice.
Yeah, Gundam Hitler would have sent people into space. Big space areas.
Gundam Hitler! Gundam Hitler!
He's probably in some mobile armor.
Mobile armor with the mustache.
Yeah,
So much sci-fi is eugenics. Yeah, that's
that's true.
Let me just be clear here.
Just full with other kinds of not good types of thinking.
Yeah, like eugenics and you know, some parts of eugenics were considered a legitimate science for way too fucking long. Like,
It took Hitler.
oh no, even then afterwards, a lot
It
of people
still
were
took Hitler.
It still
We
took
had
Hitler.
Hitler and people still believe that shit.
Yeah, people are like, you know what? How they just did. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the wildest thing is when you read, you know, about the fact that there are people, you know, who went to the, you know, back in the day, went to the concentration camps, and were like, you know what? The Nazis just did eugenics wrong. You know, eugenics, but in you know, just make the genocide nicer, I suppose.
Or don't let yourself be stopped, I guess.
We're
I
talking
mean,
about-
that was still the time where we had hysteria in women.
God, we had hysteria woman for a long fucking time.
Yeah. Yeah, most sci-fi is just allegory about, hey, what if this was true?
And a lot of that is really just Nazi shit. Yeah.
It
I
can
mean,
be.
again, the original Gundam show, still holds up in terms of, you know, a lot of stuff until this day. Like, remember the strongest new type in the show isn't Amuro, it's an Indian girl,
Yeah,
and she looks like she's from India.
now she's ghost.
Do you need to do this to me? Do you need to fucking do this to me?
It's late.
And then Seed was like, yeah, let's just do it. Yeah, Seed is bad. Seed is bad.
They have funny names. That's the good thing I can say about it. It had funny names.
We still need to watch like the last 5 episodes because I still want to show you Char's counterattack. You're still missing out on Char's
How
counterattack.
can Char counter anything if he gets countered every time he pops up?
He tries his best. Going back to jump into the path of the bullet you dodged in the 70s is an incredible feat. I think Seed wasn't made by the same person that 70s was made by. Like, yeah. That's just what happens if you know, look. I think that's the thing. What happens? It's just a loose remix. So it's like, why? I don't know. I mean, Wings dodged that bullet. Gundam Wing, and Wing was fine. It's not as good as the first.
I don't know, remember what sci-fi book I've heard. It was about reviving vampires.
Oh, you mean the ship one with the
Reviving vampires and how was it called? Life forms without
The Chinese room.
sentience.
Yeah.
It was called I don't think.
No, it's a
allegory.
Chinese room. It's a Chinese room.
Yeah, it's an allegory
Yeah.
to that metaphor thing. Yeah.
But yeah, why
That was fun.
oh yeah. Why did
It was just like, let's explore that shit. Meanwhile, right at the end, yeah, Earth is dying because we revived vampires.
that was a dumb idea. Why would you revive vampires?
Because you can lobotomize them and make them an avatar for your ship without telling your crew. That's why.
It's just
So now you
amazing.
have to ask yourself, is it the vampires rebelling or are the machines rebelling?
Yeah, good question. I mean, you know what? Seed is, in my opinion, the thing that happens if you have people working on something that came in from the same thing. Like, again, Gundam tried to be about something, it wasn't trying to be Gundam. While Seed tries to be Gundam, and yeah. I finally watched OG Gundam movies back when G-Wiz came out and was like, oh, this is where Seed took it's everything from. Yeah, it's a retelling. It's the same as Wings is a retelling. Same as Blindside. Yeah, that was the book.
Yes.
Yeah, you read a lot of stuff recently.
Well, I heard it.
And you heard the audiobook, I know.
Yeah. And all of those new sci-fi thingies have like a thing with autism for some reason.
Yeah, I feel like autism is like the new...
Autism, and if it comes from Korea, it has misogyny in it. It just has.
Yeah. I feel like autism just is like the new plug for a lot of sci-fi writers about just doing the same shit with, what new types were before.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just, just maybe stop doing that. We just, what, just make less sci-fi with weird eugenics and more sci-fi with fucked up lesbians. That said, I still need to think about a new treat, damn.
Yeah. I mean, how was it in 3 Body Problems? Like, oh, we have a sword holder. New sword holder's woman. Everything goes to shit. Immediately. It's like, I know what they tried, but they failed.
Yep.
The book is good, though. It has problems, but the book is good. Books, technically.
Yeah, true. It's, but yeah, the original Gundam, I still say, I think the movie still cut out a lot of the emotional stuff from the original series. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. The original series is still a good watch. It has a bit more, padding, but it is still a really good watch. Especially since there's literally just a scene where the father of the antagonist just goes up to him and is like, hey, remember Hitler? Because you're pretty much behaving like Hitler right now. And the antagonist's like, and he's like, yeah, I remember, but he failed. I won't fail because I'm not a failure. He gets headshot. It's just amazing. That's the movie too. I think they cut it out from, but yeah, it's just amazing. It's just so blatant. Shit. Yeah, Rogers, honestly, the original Gundam series is just an incredibly good ride. Like,
Yeah. I think I like the second one more, though.
Zeta?
Yeah.
Yeah, Zeta is good. I think I like Double Zeta in some parts more, but it's the strong stuff in the second part.
I can get that, but no. Judo doesn't have the Kami energy.
Okay, you know what? The Kami energy is like. Okay, yes, obviously you start your show with stealing Gundam, I guess 5 times, punching fascists, punching cops, then stealing the Gundam to intimidate the cop back because you're like, fuck you, cop, and then going away with them, and then Shazna was like, oh god, I took in the problematic autism kid, didn't I? And then the kid is just like, I have autism, why should I pilot a Gundam? And he's like, ah! No, seriously, Zeta literally Camille just spells out, I have autism. I'm just an autistic child. Why should I do all this shit? It's like, mood. Emperor guy, son, you're a lot like Hitler. Nazi son, based this fucking guy.
Yeah.
I just fucking love how they just then die just rapidly by just immediate backstabbing.
I mean, the father dies from...
The son.
Yeah.
Yes.
The son. But, he already knew he couldn't do anything about it, so he was just, relatively chill.
And then Zeta brings us Haman Khan, which is a evil hot woman. So the perfect marriage for everyone who's actually not, a coward and pretends like, the one from G, which is actually evil. Seriously, everyone's just pretending like, oh, Prospera is such an evil woman. Does literally, like, the worst thing Prospera does in the whole series is making Suletta cry in one scene. That's the worst she factually does. Literally. And people are like, she's an evil woman. No! Haman Khan is evil. You're not simping for Haman Khan, you're a fucking liar.
I mean, true, Char didn't betray anyone.
Chad has never betrayed anyone ever in his entire whole life.
Yeah, how? It was very short.
Yeah, he didn't backstab him. He just, let him into a situation where other people killed him. He did no backstabbing.
Oh no, Char never did backstab. Char is kind of dead.
Yeah, Char is kind of dead. It's just someone who calls himself Char, but he's not Char.
Yeah, he's Quadrupagia.
Okay, seriously, I love this moment in Zeta where,
Big spoiler.
Big spoiler, but fuck it. I love how I was like, hypothetically, if Char Aznable was in this room, should he take responsibility? Yes, I know. So you think Char Aznable should do that? Yes. But I'm not Char Aznable, everyone. Understandable, have a nice day. And he calls himself Quadrupagia.
And the funniest thing is he's technically correct. Because he was never Char Aznable.
He really isn't Char Aznable. It's just like, holy shit. Oh, if you can't trust Commander 4 vaginas, who can you trust? Oh, I fucking love this guy. He's just such a failure of a person, but like, he just keeps going, and you're like, yes. And then, when they decommissioned the giant Gundam in Yokohama, when they made the drone picture in the sky, where he basically kisses with Amuro, I'm like, yes, just make it official for Elite. Like,
Well,
seriously.
They did.
Seriously, here's the thing. Everything in, the OG, the original, the UC, the UC in Gundam could have been saved if Amuro and Char just had if they had fucked. Just
In some way.
Just literally, just give them 3 days, just nasty gay sex, and they would come out of that room and be like, you know what, maybe we shouldn't do all of this shit right now and just stop the fighting and just end everything together. And it would have worked. So again, the UC would have saved by gay sex. But they didn't. And so, we had Camille going to shit. Then you had Judo trying to, end all of the bullshit. Literally, Char, just go down with Amuro. Anyway. Verdammt. OG Gundam is such a wild ride, I love it. But yeah, we need to get to Char's counterattack, I tell you.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Char will get countered by the I
Char's
guess
counterattack.
personal register.
Look at his epic new mobile suit that you can buy kits of, and like, oh, and it's gone. Really? God damn it. I swear. Yeah, original Gundam, great show. You should watch it. And then watch G Gundam just for the fun of it. We need to get to that as well one day.
Yeah, but can we rewatch Iron-Blooded Orphans? There die a lot of people.
You can watch G Gundam with me. They have kung fu battles in mechas. Also, the Dutch one is a windmill.
I know. But
Can't be worse than G-Witch giving the Schwarzett to fucking Lotte. Honestly, G-Witch was just a mess in the end. Just a fucking mess.
the beginning was fine, and roughly in the second half of the first half, it started to fall apart.
Yeah.
You really saw the whole mess in the second part, but still.
Yeah, you clearly saw they didn't know where to go with everything.
Yeah. Which was
It's
sad.
just really fucking sad. That's really either that, but also again, I don't think they even had an idea where to go with everything. So probably it was better they wrapped it up fast. Honestly, I think a second season would probably have made it worse. Like, here's the thing, Claire. I think with D-Witch, be happy they wrapped it up fast, because I feel like if they didn't, a second season would have really ruined it for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, just...
Probably. They didn't really knew which to go, even for the characters.
Yeah.
They just stagnated a whole lot after a few character moments, and
They knew...
and then they needed to wait till the end until it magically solves again everything.
Yeah, they kind of probably knew that they wanted to, Murine and Suletta would come together.
Yeah.
That was obvious, but they really had that. They knew that, oh, those two get together. That's it. The rest of the movie, yes, suddenly I'm gonna be honest with you. Yes, this show ends with Suletta upholding the status quo of corporation that keep exploiting everyone on Earth. A thing she was against.
As the person from Mercury, where people are exploited and lose limbs regularly.
Yeah, but I guess now you have a few younger and more girls at the top, so it's better now. I guess. But no, then they say it just went back to normal. So that was an outstanding mess that but the other ones had a laser cannon. Yeah, and they wanted to, smash the corporate conglomerate? Sorry, who was supposed to be the bad guy here? It technically got disbanded, yeah, but then, shit reformed. They literally say it went back to status quo.
It's not like the people who disbanded are forbidden from holding corporate positions.
Yeah, it's like the irony about it is that they wanted to make like a high school lesbian romance,
which is good,
but they then got forced to make it Gundam,
which would be fine, but they would have needed to take the whole Gundam roughly.
Yeah, and
roughly when it fell apart, that's when it should have become Gundam. Then the whole feelings between Mirin and Suletta could have become way more raw, and they would need to talk a bit more instead of like 2 sentences and running away.
Mecha Killer, yeah, but that's the problem. Then the show should have needed to be about something. Killer Kill is still full of fucking subtext and allegories. Just saying.
And escaping the system, even though the future is unclear. But the problem is just Gundam Witch from Mercury was about nothing. It had topics, it mentioned topics, but it didn't do anything. It positioned on nothing. Hell, the one character arc we got really was Ghoul, and it ended with him just going back. And I guess that was something, but it didn't end in anything. He wasn't... There was no ending He was now more conscious about the struggle of the lower strata.
I suppose everyone expected more. Everyone. And just nothing came. Because, again, they probably didn't have anything to be about. And that's the problem. That's why I don't think Gundam Witch from Mercury is a good Gundam show. If you just see it as a romance show with mechs, fine. It's good. It's lesbian. I love that. Gesundheit. Gesundheit.
Okay.
But he could now pull off a scrunchly hoodie look. Huge development. Yeah. But as a Gundam show, it's just bad. Because that's... Sorry. A Gundam show has to be about something. And... Even if it's messy, 00 was about more. It at least ended on something. It has a message. It, stumbled getting there, but still it ended on something. It positioned itself. Yeah. Iron-Blooded Orphans was also, just actually reversing the Gundam formula because, usually the first season is always about how, the good guys make things worse and then they fix it in the second, kind of how they did in Wings or Seed even, let's just put it out there. Double O, they do things get worse in the first season, then they fix it in the second. While in Iron-Blooded Orphans, they flip the script. They first do the good shit in the first season, and things improve. But then, it's about, they lose sight of what is actually the right thing to do because it becomes unclear, and they become themselves the bad people to defeat. But we
to a degree,
but we still see it.
They weren't even really the bad people. It was just, they were really useful as the bad people, and you could easily murder them.
Honestly, that's true. But also, honestly, Orga becoming kings of Mars, and you were like, is this a good thing to do? No. You would just reproduce the same dumb shit from before.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But yeah.
But that's the problem. He just wanted to get his family into a better position and not better the world for the people themselves.
Yeah. But also, now that you talk this much, it's like, you give people the impression we could have done Baldur's Gate 3, even though they probably don't see you.
Believe me, half of my throat is swelled down. That's why I can talk. Before then, I had a problem swallowing.
Yeah, that sucks, right? Oh well. Yeah, that's why I just say Gundam, Witcher Mercury. What?
I just realized why it's maybe not such a design flaw if you believe in the whole design thing.
Okay.
That the breathing tube and the eating tube is not one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
So now one can swell and you can still breathe.
It is. I probably will also swell and just block you from breathing.
No, see? Our throats were swollen and we could barely swallow, but we could still breathe.
I guess to a degree, yes.
See? That's why we have probably eating and breathing tubes evolutionary, because everyone else just died.
Oh god. So yeah.
Or we would have bad immune systems.
Oh yeah, bad immune systems. Okay.
How many illnesses are you carrying today?
Oh, by the
20.
way, Alex St. John, thank you for the follow. I didn't notice that. Fuck. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. We would be bad people, and we would talk about how many illnesses we carry today.
I don't know if bats can actually measure that, but I guess.
No, we would be bad people, because if we had one and the same tube for everything, we need to stop swelling.
Yeah.
And we can't get rid of the lymphatic system that easily, so we would need to have a bat-like immune system.
You're overthinking again.
I'm thinking funny shit.
You're overthinking again.
Maybe I need cough syrup.
Okay. Hope you all had a fun stream and weird rambling about Gundam in the end. Again, watch the original Gundam show, Zeta and Double Zeta and Char's Counterattack. Amazing show still. And G Gundam. Seriously, don't fucking sleep on G Gundam. If you're like, oh hey, what if Toei made G Gundam, a good old 80s Toei comedy action show? Watch fucking G Gundam. It is such a good fucking run. Just, seriously, watch it. You will love it, even if you don't like mechas, because it's amazing. Anyway, yeah, we will take care, and maybe see you all on Friday, depending on how you are.
Yeah.
And yeah, have a wonderful week ahead of you. Stay safe and stay healthy. And goodbye.
Bye-bye.